All right, we're back for more Versus Live. Ross Merriam, myself, Todd Anderson here. We're going to be playing the second match of the day. What we got on the docket?
So once again, I'll be playing Izzet Phoenix like I am in every match today. This is the finals from Grand Prix Bilbao. I'm on Guillaume Montagnon's list with some spicy one-ofs in the main deck, including an Echoing Truth, which is going to be very important in this matchup because Todd is playing Luis Samuel Del Tour's Grixis Whir Prison deck.
It's not quite Grixis, it is playing Ancient Stirrings.
Sure, it's the other list.
There's a bit of differentials between how this deck is built. Sometimes they play Stirring, sometimes they play Dr. Sword, and we've seen all sorts of types. Sometimes, it makes sense to play Ancient Stirrings in a deck like this, though, because it allows you to find those ensnaring bridges much more quickly. And on top of that, though, you just have a host of really good colorless cards, various artifacts that help you set up this lock of Ensnaring Bridge plus Welding Jar plus a bunch of other protection pieces, whether that's Chalice of the Void or Witchbane Orb or what have you. And then, of course, Whir of Invention, the card that the deck is kind of centered around, this really powerful tutor with Improvise.
Yeah, so you're going to see Todd just sort of try to lock me out of meaningfully interacting. In game one, it's going to be important for him to find a bridge very quickly and then find the Witchbane Orb to lock me out of Lightning Bolt, especially with Pyromancer Ascension in the deck. So my goal is going to be to try to get in attacks as quickly as I can to get him into Bolt range, and then hopefully finish him off before the Witchbane Orb comes down. That can be difficult if you don't draw Mox Opal. You're not going to be able to put Bridge on the battlefield, or Whir for it at least, before turn 3. Mm-hmm. So you do tend to give me a little bit of time, but the onus is on me to have a really aggressive start here, and then I have one Echoing Truth to sort of save me. You can Echoing Truth the bridges. Welding Jar doesn't do anything about that. I don't believe there's a Spellskite main usually in these lists. Usually you find that in the sideboard.
Yeah, this actually sideboard has 4 copies of Spellskite, so a lot of protection after sideboard from those kind of one-shot spot removal artifact destruction spells. With a lot of the Izzet Phoenix decks leaning towards Hurkyl's Recall or even Shatterstorm, it's possible though that something like Spellskite is outdated already, and that just kind of shows how quickly these Phoenix decks adapt, and the Whir Prison decks are what I consider to be a pretty bad matchup. Every time I've seen Whir Prison actually face off against Phoenix, it's been one-sided slaughter. And the even with Shatterstorm, if you don't hold it for a long enough period of time and find the exact right spot to use it to kill your opponent, a lot of times they just go, okay, we lost everything, we got hit for 10, now we're still at 10-ish life, and then they all right, draw Ensnaring Bridge number 2 that we find very easily off of the land, Inventor's Fair, or you just have hit enough land drops where you can just play Whir of Invention to go get it immediately. So.
Yeah, it's not like you can just sit here and find the card eventually and kill them with it. If you give them too much time, eventually you'll be able to set up a way to win without it, unless you're able to kill them immediately.
Yeah, and one important thing to note, I'm 95% that Hurkyl's Recall targets a player, and Witchbane Orb can protect me from that, and I can work for it in response to a Hurkyl's Recall if I so choose.
Yeah, now Rebuild is the card that doesn't target players, returns all artifacts everybody controls.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the match. I lost the previous match where we were playing Golgari versus Izzet Phoenix, and now we are going to move on to Whir.
We've not seen Whir on Versus Live yet, so this will be an interesting one. Not sure how comfortable Todd is at playing those spells.
Not at all.
Okay.
All right.
So this should be fun.
Okay. My hand is very good, though, and I think I'll be able to figure it out.
My hand is also quite good.
Glimmervoid, pass. Glimmervoid, Opal, Tormod's Crypt, Pyrite, go.
That is pretty good.
The chat has been calling this lovingly Lanternliness Lantern.
Yeah. Now, everyone kind of figured out pretty quickly that Lantern of Insight was not the card that made that deck good. It was, in fact, Ensnaring Bridge. Lantern just kind of set you up to kind of lock your opponent out at some point, hopefully.
We did see Sam Black top 8 Tampa with Lantern, though.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to 17. My life total here is not important.
That's true. I mean, the deck does have the win condition of Pyrite Spellbomb plus Academy Ruins once you get your opponent to... or once you get down to no cards and your opponent has no way to kill your stuff.
But that's not really dependent on my life total.
Yep.
Let's play Visions.
Yep.
Excuse me. Not a bad draw. We'll scry 2, and these are the 2 worst cards in our deck, so they can safely be ensconced on the bottom.
All right.
ensconced.
Nice. All right. We'll go ahead and play a turn 2 bridge. There you go. We only got 2 cards in hand, and Ross does have the one Echoing Truth in his deck that he can use to unlock himself from the Ensnaring Bridge with things like Thing in the Ice. So,
yeah, not going to be able to attack this turn. Mox Opal is a messed up magic card.
All right. I'm going to transmute Talaria West, and I'm going to go get Chalice of the Void. I'm going to play Rivulet, second Mox Opal, and cast Chalice for 1. Pass turn.
Okay.
This is going to keep Ross from being able to cycle and stuff. We actually could have just waited for Chalice of the Void to cast on X equals 2, and that would have protected us from his 1 Echoing Truth. But Echoing Truth's not a common card to see in this matchup, or in this deck. And even though Guillaume played it, I don't think I've seen any other player main deck 1 copy of that card. So.
Pass the turn.
Would you like to concede, or do you want to play it out? Because this feels real bad for you.
I've got an Echoing Truth.
Okay.
As soon as you find another Chalice, I will concede.
Yeah, right, sure. Here we go. Do I even have a second Chalice? I'm not overly familiar with all the 1s and 2s and such, so I'm going to double check. Would you have conceded if I Chalice on 2?
Maybe.
I mean, can you... I guess you can... Actually, no, you can set up Pyromancer Ascension. I do have more Chalices.
Well, if you Chalice on 2, I can't cast Ascension.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Ascension does help me play through Chalice in 1, because the copy from Ascension will still resolve.
Yep.
So that is important to note. And because that is the case, I think I will take this... I think I will just cast Izzet Charm to loot.
Yep. Give me the loot!
Pass the turn.
All right, I'll go ahead and just cycle this. Looking for more things. Draw. Land for turn. I'm going to go ahead and just Tech Edge Spire Bluff Canal. Your turn.
There's no point in playing this Arclight now because I'm going to have to transform this thing, so I'll just pass. There's also no point in me transforming it now. I could find other things and set those up more easily.
Well, I'm going to play this on 2. Protect myself from, what you calls it? Pyromancer.
Let's play a Manamorphose, trigger thing, make blue-red. And now I have enough spells left over that I guess I still have Pyromancer Ascension, so I should be... I guess the Explosive will deal with Ascension too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's still no reason to play a spell. Just pass.
Go.
Pass.
Go.
Pass.
Crucible.
Yep.
I will get back a Tech Edge and then kill your Steam Vents.
Little blue.
Your turn.
Manamorphose, trigger thing.
Yep.
Make blue-red.
Yep.
Pass a turn.
Draw. Plate Edge. Pop your Spire Bluff. Go.
Inferno's asking Todd politely to mill him out.
I mean, the Rivulet doesn't mill him out very quickly. I'm going to do that eventually, but I want to make sure I actually just pop off a bunch of his lands, counter it.
Yep.
Just always assume it's countered. Don't.
Yeah. I'm not gonna Chalice check you. I just want to transform this.
Yeah, that's fine. But basically, I want to get him down to just his 4, or I guess he has an island in the graveyard. So most of them, they have 5 basics. So
you can go.
So the thing is, the way that I lose this game is for him to burst damage me with his Echoing Truth, right? And if I start milling him and get all of his Phoenixes in the graveyard, that's the easiest way for me to die. Oh, yeah. Duh. Okay. All right, I'll play a bobble.
I agree with you if you did not have Tormod script on the battlefield,
it's been there forever. I just forgot that.
Yeah.
All right, I haven't played a land yet. I'll mill you for 4 and then replay it. All right, go.
Hold on. With the mill, I should have done this with the mill in the stack.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh, you can surgical the Rivulet, right?
Well, I'm not surgicaling. I'm just trying to fetch so I don't miss out on any of my last fetchable lands.
Sure.
Because I only have an island and a mountain. But let's redo this. I'm going to crack these fetches in response to the activation.
That's okay. You don't get a Phoenix, though. I'm just kidding. It's all random. Yeah, if I milled over one of your basics, you'd be in.
I guess I'll just find the basics, so that way you can't tech edge me below 4 lands ever by milling a basic.
Yep.
So I'm at 15.
Okay.
Evidently, a chat saying you can't surgical with Chalice.
Yeah, I caught myself immediately after Ross was.
Sorry, I was half paying attention.
It's okay.
That's my fault, chat.
All right, so I'll replay it after the mill 4 unless you have a response.
Nope. Okay, mill 4. We hit Manamorphose, Phoenix, and 2 lands.
Go.
Okay, now let's draw. Serum Visions, Sleight of Hand, Faithless Looting, trigger Arclight Phoenix.
Sure.
Pass the turn.
Leave for 4. Alright, look at your top card. Okay. I will. This is my hand. Draw Bobble, draw for turn. I will. Solaria West, go get Chalice. Play my Mox Opal from hand after floating mana. Chalice for X equals 2.
That'll do.
Okay.
That'll do.
Now, this is kind of what happens with this deck. You slow them down with something like Chalice. You make sure that you get a bridge down so they can't kill you before you get set up. And then you eventually just find the one thing that locks them completely out, whether that's Chalice of the Void or sometimes it's Witchbane Orb or what have you. And you just have so much redundancy with Stirrings and War of Invention that it's like really tough not to find the stuff, which is why this deck is quite good, I think. And especially in this matchup, they're not really that well equipped to kill you outside of attacking with a bunch of creatures, and Searing Bridge is the perfect foil for that. All right, well, we are going to sideboard here. We're not going to take any sort of break right this sec. If you have any questions for us, Taylor, you can ask them now.
Yeah, I got one right here. Is looting the problem or Phoenix? I mean, looting has been around forever, so I'd say Phoenix is, but what would you say about that?
This whole, this card can't be the problem because it's been around forever is a bad way of thinking about it. And it's one of the reasons that this deck was named Izzet Phoenix, even though it's really a thing in the X deck, because Phoenix was the most recent card that got printed, and when it got made, decks don't exist unless all the pieces exist. Everything exists in concert with all the other cards in the format and in any given deck. So it's not any one card that ever really makes it. When you're talking about bans, though, you have to think about the card that most restricts future design space, and that card of the two that you listed, Phoenix and Looting, it's certainly Looting that restricts any sort of card like Phoenix, any abusable creature that comes back from the graveyard. So it would be a Looting over Phoenix for sure, but the real card that you have to question next to Looting is Manamorphose, because free spells are something that always ends up being broken with cards like Thing in the Ice, cards like Arclight Phoenix, decks like Storm. Manamorphose also combos with cost reducers like Baral, one of the key interactions in the Storm deck. So I would be looking at Manamorphose versus Faithless Looting for a ban. And Manamorphose has the upside of not eliminating nearly as many decks from the metagame as a Looting ban would. Decks like Mardu Pyromancer that use Looting in a fair way are really interesting and fun to have around. A deck like Gorya's Vengeance that's really inconsistent but super powerful is also kind of fun to have around. You want to have that check on the metagame that things can't get too inbred. It's when a deck becomes, as powerful and consistent as something like Izzet Phoenix that you get to have a problem. And, Manamorphose is as big of a part of it, I think, as the Graveyard engine. Because Manamorphose is the spell engine of the deck.
All right, so I'm cutting quite a few artifacts here for cards I'm not even sure should be coming in. I think Tezzeret is pretty good as just closing the game quickly. I think as the game goes long, something like Shatterstorm is looming. Hurkyl's Recall is problematic, and even the Echoing Truth in the main deck. So he has 3 kind of hardcore killers that I can't really do much about outside of Witchbane Orb against Recall, Chalice of Void on 2 versus Recall, and Echoing Truth. And then Shatterstorm is just the nuts. Now, outside of the 1 or 2 Abrades, Welding Jar doesn't actually protect me from anything. And while Welding Jar on a bridge against that 1 or 2 Abrade is sometimes key, I think drawing a bunch of Welding Jars is not overly worthwhile. And I kind of want to cut some number. 3 is probably too many. And I don't think we want all these Tezzerets, so I think I'm just going to leave in 2 jars and cut 2 of them for these 6. But Sidemaster Thopterus, a great way to buy time in the matchup. Definitely bringing those in. Unmoored Ego, I can name Phoenix if I need to. But with Ross having 1 Hurkyl, 1 Shatterstorm, 1 Echoing Truth, I can't name the one thing that unlocks him. So it's not going to be nearly as good. But Unmoored Ego is just like kind of like another anti-graveyard card. Maybe I just don't want it, though. Just board in 3 Tez. What do you think?
I think you want the Unmoored Ego.
Okay.
I mean, my list is particularly well prepared because I have 2 of these effects, but most only have the 1 Shatterstorm.
All right. Well, we're going to cut the Sorcerer Spyglass. Don't have very many hits for that. And Injure Explosives while it kills Pyromancer and Thing the Ice. I don't think it's very good.
My sideboarding is going to be a lot more difficult because I have a lot of cards I want. I think you could make an argument for Surgical in this matchup, but it just takes too much for a card like that to work. And in games 2 and 3, these decks always have some other way to beat you, so you can't be singularly focused on beating the bridge plan. And you see Todd has Tezzerets and Sidemaster Thopterist. Mm-hmm. I don't want to leave in a card like Lightning Axe to answer Psy. I think Thing in the Ice is pretty good at dealing with it. And I just don't think I can afford to have, a narrow answer to only one part of the plan. So Psy is going to be a problem here. The
more I think about it, I think I'm just going to leave in the explosives. I think they just catch too many things that could be problematic. Even Blood Moon is something that I might just need to kill. So at the very least, I need 1 explosive, but I think I'm just going to leave them both. Killing Thing in the Ice actually just seems pretty good. So, sorry.
I'm going to trim 1 bolt, but I want to leave it a good number in, both to finish Todd off if I'm able to get him low before he finds and establishes a bridge lock, but also just combo with Pyromancer Ascension. You know, if Ascension goes unanswered for a while, you can generally just sort of draw your entire deck, and then I'll cast like Hurkyl's Recall and Shatterstorm, and then attack plus bolt Todd out. Yep. And I needed at least 2. I'm going to try 3 here, and I'm going to trim some Thought Scours, just because you don't want to be too cantrip dense. 1 in a matchup where like Todd's cards can just blank all of mine, so I need to bring in a lot more things of a different array of cards so that I don't get completely shut down. Mm-hmm. So I need to be less homogenous, and the cantrips homogenize your deck. And because Todd's a Chalice of the Void deck, so cutting some 1-mana spells is advisable, even though I am bringing in some 1-mana counters. Dispel's kind of narrow here, but Whir of Invention is just so important to their deck that I think it's worth bringing in. This would be a matchup where I'd prefer 2 Spell Pierce over second Dispel, but I think right now the metagame is at the point where second Dispel is better.
Yep. All right, well, you're going to be on the play for game 2, but while we're doing that, if you have any questions from chat about either of these decks, or Modern, or Phoenix as general.
Before I ask this, are you guys aware of the Shadow Zoo list?
Yes.
Yeah, I won a MCQ about a month ago now. Uses Death Shadow, Become Immense, Team of Battle Rage, like the old school versions, except you just don't have Jetaxian Probes, like the only difference.
So what the basic question is, what's your opinion about the zoo list? Is it just a worse Grixis Shadow?
Well, I mean, it's a completely different deck than Grixis Shadow, so...
Yeah, but I agree, but I think to an extent where you need to think of it way more like an Infect deck, where you have a little bit of protection by just like hitting them with the discard spells, and then you have the combo kill with Teamer Battle Rage plus Become Immense. And I think that there's a reason why all the Grixis Shadow decks right now are playing like 2 Teamer Battle Rage, because Teamer Battle Rage is quite good. Now, that deck took it to an extreme and ended up paying off, and they won the MCQ. But it's dangerous to play a deck like that in a field that's anything other than like Phoenix and Dredge. Like if your opponent is interacting with you, that's rough to try to shove all in like that over and over again.
Yeah, so I think that's the kind of deck that it can beat the real top of the metagame, the Phoenixes, the Dredges, that aren't interacting with you as much. You have a good way to deal with Bolt, either Thoughtseize out of their hand or just Mutagenic Growth.
Yeah,
Fire creatures plus growth, survive Bolt.
Deck, yeah.
It's like Swift Spear and Wild Nicottle. But, Thing in the Ice can be tough to beat for that deck. Fast Phoenix draw without a shadow, they can race you. But you're probably still okay in those top matchups. But now that the metagame is adapting to Phoenix and you're seeing more pushes and black removal spells, I think that deck gets a lot worse, and it's pretty fragile. So it's the kind of deck that there was probably a window for a couple weeks around the time that it won the MCQ that it was good, but I think that window is closed.
Yeah, I'm kind of under the same impression. I do like the deck. I like the idea, but it's 100% just a metagame call. And Magic Online larger events kind of bring out, I would say, a higher density of the top tier of any given format. I think Magic Online is a bit more cutthroat than any real just open tournament that you will see in real life, where you have 900 people showing up to play Modern. On Magic Online, you have 200 or 300 of some of the most invested players in the game with the deck, or one of the top 3 decks in the format, and it's much easier to metagame in a Magic Online tournament than it is in real life, just because of the sheer amount of random things you play against.
Yeah, so you really have to be cognizant of that when you look at Magic Online results and try to translate them into a paper metagame.
All right, let's go ahead and start up game 2 here. You're going to be on the play.
Maybe I'll get to take relevant game actions.
Maybe.
You never know. I am going to... I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to keep this hand. It could be anything.
Do it.
All right.
Don't be scared.
I'm gonna keep mine, but I'm not super happy about it. We need to draw a couple mana sources here, but we have a draw step or two and a bobble. So
okay, I'm gonna crack this fetch before I cast Serum Visions, so I don't not forced to crack it next turn.
Cantrip at least.
So I'm at 19. Getting basic island here because we've brought in Blood Moon. So now we're incentivized to fetch basics, whereas before, life total didn't matter. Rather just fetch Steam Vents and play a Serum Visions.
If your opponent fetches up a basic, do you just assume they have Blood Moon?
100%.
Okay.
Well, especially after sideboard, when the matchup is not when the matchup is known and they fetch up a basic and the matchup is not about life totals, 100%. Now, game 1, if you're on the play and you have a Sulphur Falls in hand or whatever, and you're going to cast a blue card on 100% of the time,
you can go.
I think it's, there's some justification there. Bobble, target you.
Sulphur Falls.
Nice. Right. Go.
Sulphur Falls, Pyromancer Ascension.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Pretty good.
Stirrings. Just looking for mana here. Even though we have to put 2 bridge on the bottom, I think it's just important that we get it online. All right, let's go Opal, Tormod's Crypt, Jar, Explosives on 2. Go. It's just the deck. I don't know what you want from me.
They just always have Mox Opal. I just want you to not draw Mox Opal.
I didn't even play it on turn 1. I played on turn 2 after I looked at 5 cards, so I could have found one very easily.
That's all I ever want when I play against Mox Opal decks, is for them to not play Mox Opal in the first 2 turns of the game, and it never happens.
I'm sorry, man. Really, really upset about it. You gonna play your Blood Moon?
Don't have Blood Moon. I just have a way to turn this Ascension on, but I can't get any value out of it.
It's true.
So it's just going to die on Todd's turn. So I'm just going to shock myself to 8 or 17.
Yep.
And pass the turn. I just wanted 1 turn. If you didn't have Opal, then there's no way you could explosives there and blow up the Ascension.
Yeah, and then I get blown out by a Pierce or a Ceremonious. I actually considered not doing it just in case I was able to play a Master Thopterist, but I don't have another land to play, so why I kind of shoved it. I'll say go. Wait for him to try to put a counter on it.
Opt.
Okay.
Bottom that land. Opt.
All right, response to the first trigger. I'll go ahead and... I guess I should tap it like this in case I get hit with a thing. Shatterstorm.
We can keep that one.
All right, your turn.
I'm still going to opt again.
This is 100% one of those games where Ross just has Shatterstorm in hand and he's just been whining and moaning the whole time when he's just going to untap and 7 for 1
Oh my god, if I got to untap with Ascension, it was going to be so good. I was probably just going to win the game immediately.
Yeah, that's why the card is good.
Okay, well, I guess is this even that good? It's probably fine. How good? Like, do I want to cast this to look at the card? Because I can just put it in the bottom and draw it later on when it's good. This would be good to cast if I was going for a Phoenix turn, but the Tormod's Crypt stops that from being relevant. I guess I could, if I draw Ascension, it's good. Okay, so let's keep it. If I draw the second Ascension, it's good, and that I don't need much, convincing to keep the card in my hand. I'll start with a sleight of hand.
Yep.
And we'll take that one. And I'll play a Serum Visions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the busted part of Pyromancer Ascension was literally always Manamorphose because it allowed a double up on the cards.
I do think I want another
mana,
land here. So, do I? So maybe I don't. Okay, I've convinced myself I don't.
Okay.
And in that case, if that's the way I'm going to play it, I do want this card on top. You can go.
Now Ross is going to get really mad because he can't play Spell Pierce.
Size fine.
I don't think I want to waste a... Okay, I'll just say go. Whatever.
Thing in the ice.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Draw. This is a pretty interesting turn. Just in general, I'm gonna get hit pretty hard here, I think, from this thing in the ice. Just say go.
On your end step, I'll Thought Scour myself. Your thing.
That's fine. Now, I have a War of Invention that I'm going to cast. I need to figure out if I want to do it for 1 or 2. I guess I need to maybe hold up the Tormod's Crypt, so I'm going to figure out what I want to get first, and then I'll decide however many I want to do for it. I'm going to get a Damping Sphere, I think. That'll maybe shut down the thing in the ice from going crazy. Your turn. I get a side token as well, sorry.
You have 3 in hand?
4.
4. Okay, I guess we need to find a land here.
Ruh-roh.
Anamorphose trigger thing.
Oh, wait, no. Okay.
Oh, I need to find it in 2 draws? This is really risky then. Maybe I wasn't supposed to play it like that. For some reason probably just shouldn't have played the Thought Scour on end step. I didn't realize I should have know you have a Damping Sphere. So I have blue, red, and pool.
Yep.
Let's just go for it.
Okay. Still blue, red, and pool.
tilt. You can go.
All right. Untap.
Whir for bridge.
I don't have bridge.
Stamping Sphere does make Todd's Psy more awkward, so that's kind of nice.
I'm going to look through my deck again, just real quick. Just want to make sure that I am doing the thing that I think I'm doing. Okay. Is that even good? So the thing ice is going to hit me. That's obvious. I just have to figure out if I can rebuild easily after it hits me and what I can do to stop it. Because the Stamping Sphere still sticks around. It's going to make it pretty tough for Ross to do anything more than just, play like a cantrip afterwards.
Chad is questioning the token. How'd you get that?
Nope, I'm stupid. You're right. Because it was a Whir for the Damping Sphere.
Yeah.
And
that can be easily confusing. Chat.
Yeah, that's my fault. No, they're right. Look, I'm never going to chastise chat unless they're wrong.
In which case, I'm going to do it very aggressively.
Yeah, so let's just chalice on one. Or, I don't know, whichever one I'm supposed to use. Now I'll get a token. And I'll play Tulare West. So go.
My hand looks so bad now.
Okay, trigger.
Yep.
He's bounce.
Attack for 7.
That's 13.
You can go.
Draw for turn. Yeah, explosives on 2.
Yep.
I'll pass the turn. Under upkeep, I'm gonna Welding Jar, targeting Damping Sphere. Does that resolve?
Yep.
Right, then I'll pop explosives.
Damping Sphere is tapped.
Sure. You right.
Well, that's a pretty good draw. Found our land. And let's play Jace.
Okay.
And how do I want to play this Jace? Pretty sure Fate Sealing myself just sees the same number of cards as a Brainstorm because I don't have a shuffle effect. I can't even upkeep Thought Scour after I untap because of the Chalice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just Fate Seal myself. And is that good or bad? It's okay. It's a fetch land.
Sure.
So next turn I'll have a shuffle effect.
Yeah.
Am I going to get? I doubt Todd's not going to be able to generate 5 power with the unless he has Tezzeret. The Psy is not going to threaten Jace in 2 turns even because of the Damping Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just prevent Todd from being able to do it. I guess maybe I should have brainstormed because
Tezzeret just clocks
because of Tezzeret. I forgot about Tezzeret, but I'm probably just dead to a Tezzeret. And in case you have Tezzeret, I should probably just bottom this.
Okay.
You can go.
Drop. Let's just go Bottle Cloister. Go.
That's interesting. Hope I draw
And a breed or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hand's gone forever if
Yeah.
Yeah. If you kill it.
Brainstorm.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
That was not a good sequence of draws. Can I get that fetch land back?
You have a fetch land in hand.
No,
Oh, you bottomed it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if you have Tezzeret, drawing a fetch land is heinous. And I assumed I would draw a relevant card. I have so many in my deck.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Here we are.
And yet here we are. Exactly. Okay. Arclight Phoenix attack for 3.
I'm at 10.
You can go.
All right. Bottle Cloister trigger. I'm going to draw for it and for my turn. Now I will play Psy, play land for turn, play Crucible Worlds to trigger.
I probably should have left this Phoenix back just because it's not killing Todd and to play her on Tezzeret.
Your turn.
But that was also bad. I guess I could try to like do some weird nonsense where I pressure him now. I wonder if that's good at all.
You just have another Phoenix?
Yeah, but another Phoenix, I could like... What happens if I either bounce Psy to like prevent you from making a bunch of Thopters, or just bounce the Thopter and put you to 4?
Yeah.
I think if you were at 1 fewer life, that would be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd have to make 3 Thopters on your next turn, and you only have 1 card in hand, and you have Damping Sphere in play, like, or you just have to. The problem is that also just loses. That plan also just loses to Bridge. So the fact that it loses to Bridge means I should probably just Brainstorm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you can just Brainstorm and hit one of your Nutter Butters, and I'm dead. So.
Well, I'm definitely going to play this because it locks Todd out of Whir and Tezzeret. So, and I'm not going to lose my Jace next turn. So let's play Blood Moon.
Okie doke.
And discard a Dispel.
You're not going to attack?
No, I think I'd rather defend my Jace.
Trigger, Bottle Cloister, draw. Alright. We'll just cast a bridge, trigger this.
Yep.
And do I want to draw a card? Just sack 2 things. I don't really want to sack any of this stuff, and I'll just say go.
Brainstorm.
Yep.
God. This deck has a lot of 1-mana spells. Play a Mountain, play an Arclight Phoenix.
Yeah, and the new rule for Blood Moon, obviously, the Spire Bluff Canal stays tapped. So.
You can go.
All right. I think because I have the Chalice, I don't really need the Damping Sphere. I'm actually going to sacrifice the Tormod's Crypt and the Damping Sphere and draw a card. Okay. Untap. Return Bottle Cloister, draw, and then draw for turn. We drew an island. That is great. We are going to play a Bauble, make a Psy token. Float a blue, play Mox Opal, make a Psy token. And then I'm going to Whir of Invention for some amount. I'm not sure how much yet. Let's just do 4, because I'm not doing anything else with my mana, really. It's all red. I think 4 is the most. Okay.
Good after that?
No. I guess the Whir's not even that good, because I already have the Cloister. I'm just getting a redundant bridge.
Get Witchbane Orb to shut off Hercules.
I actually cut Witchbane Orb.
Okay.
Which was probably stupid. But, I mean, it literally just stops Hercules recall, so I don't know. Just get Cage in case my Tormod's Crypt is gone.
Yeah.
Could just get Cage, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Go.
Like, redundant bridge isn't necessary here because you have the side to play defense. I would just be hitting Cloister because I'm just trying to find. Trying to stop you from finding an answer to one of my big things.
Yeah.
And Brainstorm.
Wait, where's my Bauble? Oh, it's in play.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna crack it on your upkeep.
Oh, on my upkeep?
It's hidden in the
Well, you know the card that you should wait till I guess both cards here are cards that you know are bad because I've been putting them back with Brainstorm.
Sure. All right, whatever. Just go. I'll
So-
just EOT it.
Brainstorm.
Yep.
You're 10.
I'm just gonna get another bauble. That's cage. I don't really care about the cages. I don't think. I kind of just want to dig some more.
Yeah, that's also reasonable.
Both my explosives are gone though, so I can't really do anything about the blood moon. I think my only real way to win is Psy, which is kind of bleh. Kind of bleh. Play faster.
It's a tough turn.
Are you killing all my permanents?
I'm
Or
not.
bouncing them all. Okay.
2, 3, 4. So I'm going to end up with 9 cards in my hand. Let's put those back.
Okay.
And end step, I assume you're bobbling.
Yep.
I have a sleight of hand on top.
Okay.
I will discard Dispel and Spell Pierce.
All right. Untap. Draw the baubles.
Yep.
Bottle cloister. Draw and draw step.
Yep.
Great. I will land for turn. Play 2 bridges in a cage since I don't have the damping sphere anymore. Just make
Get 3 Nick Millers.
Yeah,
We're up to 7.
I'm gonna leave both my blues up. And here we go.
Okay. On your end step, I'm going to Echoing Truth the Chalice.
Okay. Is this after or before the bottle cloister? It's
Um,
probably you want to bounce
Yeah,
it
yeah.
during my instep
Yeah, with the
trigger on
trigger on the
stack.
stack.
Yep. Oh wait, no, this says at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. I've been doing it during my instep, but
Sure.
it's fine.
So
End
it
of
doesn't
turn
matter.
it's going to be in my hand, and then on
Yep.
your
I'm also going to... I'm not sure what I should do with these bolts. I think I should kill the Psy, and then just send 1 upstairs, but that leaves me, if I like
you
draw
only
a
have 3
Shatter...
bolts in your deck, right?
Yes. That leaves me 1 short if I draw Shatter Storm of killing you.
Does it? If you target me to 1, I'm at 10.
No,
put me to one.
if I kill the Psy, it leaves you 1
Oh
short.
yeah, I wouldn't kill the side, dude. I mean, I'll show you I have another one, but like, you know, it's not the card that's beating you right now. It's like, and
Yeah.
if you draw Shatter Storm or Recall, I die.
Yeah,
So-
let's just put you to 1.
Yep. All right, and then upkeep, trigger, cloister.
I'm going to Faithful Suiting first before brainstorming to see the maximum number of cards.
Yep.
It's discard 2. I guess I can just discard a Phoenix too, because I don't need the extra Phoenix now.
Brainstorm Jace.
Brainstorm.
Maybe sacrificing Damping Sphere was a mistake.
I think that's how I want to do it. I guess it doesn't matter because I have to cast this card anyway. So I definitely want to hold this up is my plan, and then but deal with the Cloister this turn. But I also need to return Phoenix to protect my Jace because Todd has a bunch of Thopters. So I'll Manamorphose, make blue-red. A Braid at the bottom of the Cloister.
I'm going to sack it and an Ensnaring Bridge and draw a card.
Yep. I guess Todd can now deal with the... See, this is why I wanted to kill the Sai. Everything would have... You just tricked me every time.
I'm just literally giving you what my opinions of the scenario are, man. I don't know.
Because now Todd, Todd
Sai's
can deal
dead
with my
and I'm
Jace.
at 7. Sure.
Huh?
Sai's dead
No,
and I'm at
I mean,
7.
it's all, like,
this
after
is in the
I drew.
graveyard. My card's back on top of my deck. I want you to do the thing that you wanted to do. That's fine.
What is your life total?
I'm
Chat,
at
tell
7.
me. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what chat's telling you.
We're redoing the bolts on Todd's end step because
Yeah. Okay.
that makes
He
sense.
triple bolted.
Pass
and
the turn.
Sent 2 at Sai, and then the Sai got exiled, so because he killed the Cloister.
Yeah.
Chalice is now gone too because he killed the Cloister. So smart play from Ross. Sure, just send them all at Jace, and I'll lose 3, and
Yep.
Jace takes 4. And then say go, and I'll force him to tick up so he can't brainstorm. And
Now, because I have another 4th Phoenix, I can brainstorm. So I guess we'll just brainstorm first. And that is that a good draw? I don't think so.
I don't think I can win this game, so just please play faster. It's already after 3.
Play an Arclight. Play a Sleight of Hand.
Sure.
Let's keep this one, bottom that one. Pass the turn.
All right, go.
Brainstorm.
Yep.
Found the Hurkyl's Recall.
All right, you win.
What weird games.
All right, well, it is 3:10. Do you want to play another one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we might not be able to play a third match today.
We'll play fast.
You say that. You say that.
How is it? I guess the games we played in the first match were also pretty long.
Yeah, they were long-ish. These 2 games, even though they haven't really felt that long, were actually quite long, just because of the sheer number of sheer number of decisions made on like every turn. All right, any questions while we're shuffling?
No, not at the moment. Guys, come on, give me some questions, please.
Okay, Todd on the play.
Okie doke.
I have a solid hand.
6, 7. Actually, I need to re-sideboard a little bit. That Jace is pretty annoying, so I think I'm just going to bring back 1 Sorcerer Spyglass. I'm going to take a mulligan, so I'm going to figure out what I'm doing while I'm taking the mull. 1 Spyglass is coming in.
Browner asking, what do you think about blue-white control in the metagame?
Blue-white control in the metagame.
That's a deck that I think people have said to me many times that is really good against Phoenix, and I think it is very, very bad against Phoenix.
I mean, I watched a match between Gerard Fabiano and somebody. I don't remember who the somebody was off the top of my head. And the game went like 20 turns. Gerard, for probably 5 or 6 turns in a row, had Jason Mind Sculptor. He finally drew a Teferi, ticked up the Teferi twice, and just lost. Just died. It was against Harlan, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was against Harlan. But it was like he had to have like Cryptic Command over and over and over again to stop all the Phoenix because he couldn't find a Terminus. And then he just died.
They just need so many things. And they don't, like, unlike the Golgari deck that can, like, pressure you while they answer your first couple things, this deck doesn't pressure you at all.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6. Guess I'll keep. Let's take a look at the top. Keep that there. Let's go. Cage Bobble. Go.
Fetch for Island Visions.
Yep.
I'm at 19.
Draw off Serum. Top 2.
That is an interesting set of draws. I'm going to top both and play this game really strangely.
Okay. Go.
Now I'm sad. Okay, well, I don't know like how you can put 1 mana spells on the bottom every time to try to play around Chalice. Maybe I'm supposed to do that, but you have 1 card in hand?
Yep.
Okay, I will. Maybe I'm just supposed to like really aggressively find my high impact cards.
Look at
That might
your
be.
top card. All
Just
right.
had some counter spells.
Draw off 2. I will play a Psy.
Yep.
And take it.
You have 2 in hand.
Yep.
Am I just supposed to try to get aggressive here?
Yep.
Once again, this Mox Opal just making everything bad. I'm going to play a Blood Moon. Try to shut off Whir at least.
Yep.
Pass the turn. You can still engineer explosives for 2. As the bridge.
Go.
Okay, then. Let's play a Pyromancer Ascension.
Okay.
And
One way to get through it.
pass the turn.
Draw for turn. All right, this is a mountain under Blood Moon. Play Chalice on 2. Trigger this. Attack for 1.
Hold on. I'm going to Spell Pierce the Chalice to trigger thing.
Yep.
So I'm at 19.
Yep. Your turn. Of course, it gets countered from Chalice, but he's casting it just to get a trigger on thing.
Maybe at 18, you get fetch once.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Ross 18. I'm still at 20.
Okay, let's play a Slight and trigger thing.
Counter.
Pass the turn.
Right. Untap. Draw for turn. Attack for 2.
16.
I kind of want to draw a card with Psy, sacking Opal and the Grafdigger's Cage. Because now he's got 4 mana. He'll just, if he has Phoenix, he's just going to cast them, and the Faithless Wings are locked down from the Chalice. So, and if he draws Shatterstorm or whatever, that's
the Cage isn't good, but the Opal is good because I have Blood Moon.
Oh, right.
You shut yourself off at Stirrings by
that's
sacking the Opal.
Okay. Problem is, I just have nothing to do, and I don't think 2 points a turn is that good. So I guess I can
You
just
can
wait
just sack
for
a
you.
Thopter.
I'll just wait for you to transform thing, and then I'll just sack both Thopters, probably. All right, your turn.
Sack of chalices. Come on, you don't need those.
Yeah, I don't need a chance. Ross has, the Pyromancer Ascension, if you can get it online by drawing another Slight and another Serum, everything can start working after that as a, 1-for-1. Basically the Chalice of the Void becomes a negate on the Pyromancer or vice versa. So
You can go.
okay. Attack.
14.
Play a Bottle Cloister. Trigger.
I'll rejection it.
Counter. And go upkeep trigger.
Yep. Yeah, also, sacking the Opal would have locked you out of recasting Psy, too.
Yeah.
That would have been horrific.
It was me just forgetting Blood Moon was on play. Just talking it through.
So I can transform the thing this turn. I would have preferred to do it on Todd's turn with a Thought Scour, but I guess, or an Opt, or a Mana Morphose.
That way you can just wait, right? And then wait till your end of turn next time?
Yeah, but I'm just taking 3 a turn in the meantime. I think it's...
Oh, you just don't have an instant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I should just transform it now.
Okay.
Especially because if I draw actual Shatterstorm, which is the best star on my deck, I want to have this transformed. And I only have 4 lands, so pass the turn.
All right. Untap.
Also puts a spell in my graveyard in case I can maybe get to Ascension in 2 turns.
Draw for the Bottle Cloister, draw for turn. And I'll just replay Psy.
Yep.
I don't actually have an artifact to play, but let's play land. Say go.
You can go. I guess I'll just play another Blood Moon in case that's relevant.
Yeah. I mean, I think actually explosives is relevant.
You would.
And the second Blood Moon. My only real way to get off the battlefield is explosives.
Okay.
But
I assume your explosives are going to be for 2. If it's for 3, you blow up your bridges and your Psy.
Sure. If you want to, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk you out of it. I don't. And there might be a corner case I'm just forgetting. So let's go land. Tormod's Crypt, trigger Psy. Say go.
You can go.
All right, I'm gonna sack Cage and Crypt. Draw a card.
Yep.
Upkeep.
Draw 2 more.
Bring these back. Draw 2. I will attack you for 1.
13.
Bauble, trigger, Thopter.
Yep.
Bauble, trigger, Thopter. Say go. Trigger.
You're up.
All right. I'm just going to go ahead and crack both of these, I guess, just to try to draw more artifacts.
Is it good?
It's an island. Is that good?
No.
All right. So upkeep, untap, 2 baubles, and the Bottle Cloister. And now draw for the turn.
Yep.
I will play an island. I will cast a Tezzeret Agent of Bolus.
Yep.
I will minus the Tezzeret, turning this into a 5/5.
Do you have 5 cards in your hand?
I do.
That's lucky.
Declare tax.
Yep.
Take you
Okay,
for
I'm just
7.
dead then, because I have an island on top.
Yep.
So Todd just has lethal damage in 2 turns. I have no spells that can resolve through Chalice.
Yep. And I just don't play another spell. Let Bottle Cloister eat my hand. Yeah.
I guess even if you had no cards in your hand, you could just plus the Tezzeret.
Yeah. And then minus.
Yeah.
On the, probably just
Minus
should
the
minus
next
on the plus minus anyway. You don't have a lot of ways to actually interact with the Tezzeret there.
Yeah, if I like untap, like I guess you know I have Island on tap.
All right, so
if you didn't know the top card, I could like draw Shatterstorm into Lightning Bolt on Tezzeret if you minused, which would be a disaster.
We saw that game. Ross didn't ever draw the 1 copy of Shatterstorm, but the fact that it was in his deck, I think, as long as I don't get Psy or a Tezzeret active, my normal win conditions aren't good enough to get the job done because they're too slow, like the Ipany Rivulet or
Pirate Spellbomb.
Pirate Spellbomb, and Blood Moon actually turns off both of those. So, you know, and I mean, you can see how much I made him struggle to win any of the games that he won. Like in game 2, like, you know, he won, but it took forever. And, you know, I had like a couple of, I think I'm just sideboarding very badly with the deck because I'm not really used to playing it at all. I don't think I've ever actually played this version of this deck. I've only played Lantern a handful of times. But whenever you have a deck that's as complex as Whir, where you have a bunch of tutors, you know, and like one-ofs and
you need to assemble a lock against like everything your opponent can have. So you need to know all the cards that are in their list / can be in their list to be able to play optimally. And yeah, that's a lot of just things to keep track of and a lot of variables in every equation that you're calculating in your head. So a very technically difficult deck, or technically intensive deck. And it's really impressive just how quickly like you lock out my normal things. Like I'm expecting to get a hit in with my Thing in the Ice at some point and like maybe able to cast some spells, but you're able to get down Bridge by like turn 4 and a Chalice almost every game. And it goes to show you just how consistent the deck is once you have Whir and Stirrings. And from that point, like it really is like a race. Like can I find my narrow pieces of interaction that actually let me win the Sideboard games? Or can you find enough things to lock me out? The second Chalice the Void, the Bottle Cloister really helps there. Or can you just close the game with one of your things, your Tezzerets or your size?
So one of the first things, one of the reasons why I started just playing Shatterstorm in my sideboard at all was because of this deck. It gets around Welding Jar, which is fairly problematic when your main source of interaction is a Braid. And then at the same time, the fact that it just sweeps everything under, it means that it's just like one of the most powerful tools you can have access to. And personally, I like to. Ross has played a lot more with the deck and makes great points about this type of matchup. You're not going to play against War Prison more than once in a given tournament, more than likely. And as Ross has pointed out, he hasn't brought in Shatterstorm yet. Like, he just hasn't played against a match where it would be good.
I've played 23 rounds of Magic with Shatterstorm on my sideboard if you had to bring it in.
Right. So the second slot, very often dead. But if the format kind of goes back to these prison-style decks making a comeback, as well as the potential for hardened skills or
experimental frenzy affinity.
Yeah. Those decks just get obliterated by the card. Just a one-sided knocks out all of their relevant permanents.
Including Etch Champion, which is one of their big cards in matchups like that.
Yeah, and one you can't really kill outside of bouncing it with a thing in the ice. It's very difficult to beat.
So definitely that. Like, I'm going to keep at least one card like that because Whir is present, and there are other decks that comes in against.
But if you're going to have Hurkyl's Recall, I don't think that's it. It doesn't feel that good to me, and like it does almost the same thing as Shatterstorm. It just costs less mana.
Yeah, but you also need to diversify because one of the countermeasures that the Whir decks have is Unmoored Ego, so you don't want to play two Shatterstorms.
Sure.
So it's just the next best one.
Sure.
At that point.
That's a really good point. So a really heads up build from Guillaume Matignon. I think that actually gave him the advantage in this matchup because even though they know each other's deck lists going into the finals based on the top 8 standings and everything, and how they share deck lists, it's pretty hard to play around one of this, one of that, one of that. And you saw the games I won were the games where I cast a Chalice of the Void early for one, and then just kind of did my thing. Like, I didn't really do much of anything, right? I'm just like, play this, that, this. I never set up a true lock. A Shatterstorm always killed me. But eventually, after sideboard, that's one of the reasons why I think Tezzeret is so important. I can't give you the time to find the Shatterstorm.
Yeah. No, you definitely need to close the game, and those cards do it very well. And, it's not a good feeling going into a game knowing that your opponent has a card in their back that you almost certainly can't beat if they cast it. But a lot of linear decks have that, but you're so favored in game 1 when I don't have that card in my deck, and then you just need one of the games where I don't find it. Like eventually I found one in game 2. I found the Hurkyl's Recall, but I didn't find one in game 3, and you won pretty easily. You're able to close the game before I did that. So, that's a pretty good recipe for success, and it's one that Dredge has been using for a couple of years now in Modern.
Yep.
So if it wins games, even if it's not, the most emotionally satisfying way to do it.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of prison decks, I think that Samuel Luis Del Toro's version is pretty good. So give it a shot. That's gonna do it. We're pretty far behind on time, so we're just gonna cut it off here. Go to the next match, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break for more Versus Live.